Chapter 91 Battle of New York 3. You are listening at NovelsNew. Tony, watch out for the ones you missed. Link shouted as he continued to shoot. He slightly increased his speed and still used bullets to kill the Chitauri soldiers directly. The bullets were completely effective. If he missed one or two, before they turned around and attacked Link, Stark's energy shock would arrive, and it would hit their aircraft. However, 200 bullets were indeed too few, and soon the bullets were empty. Reload. Link directly dismantled the empty ones and handed him a full one on the flying skateboard. The flying skateboard was also made of nanotechnology, although it was made of titanium alloy. With a click, the bullets were reloaded, and Stark blocked all of them. The Chitauri's aircraft were endless, but they could not break through the defense of the two people, and the Chitauri finally couldn't stand it anymore, and a Villiton rushed into the channel. Link saw a huge thing rushing out of the space channel, and he stopped firing because his bullets were useless against it. He could only watch it fly down, and Stark said, "I'll leave it to you. I'll deal with it." "Okay, I can't do anything about this thing," Link responded, and then held the M249 machine gun and continued to attack and intercept here. This time his firing rate increased a little bit. In fact, he could shoot faster and more accurately, but there was no need. He was just a small character now, and his shooting was accurate. He didn't bring his throwing knives at this time. In this high altitude, his throwing knives shouldn't have much effect. Everything must be considered carefully to hide one's strength. He continued to call out names, but there were still too few bullets. He quickly emptied the bullet box again, quickly changed the bullets, and adjusted his position at the same time. When the Chitauri came out, they looked for his position. After all, they couldn't see Link, and this space channel blocked their sight. It was equivalent to a landing operation. The attacker had to bear this loss, and Link's movement allowed him to cleverly pass the gap of changing bullets, and then the machine gun was used again. "Stark, Lin, we're here." Thor's voice came. He was not flying very fast and had just arrived. A Quinjet followed closely behind him. Although the streets were in a panic, no Chitauri had descended for the time being. All that fell were corpses and debris. Stark said, "I have a big guy here, Banner, I'll bring it over." Link said, "I'll be on the side of the passage for now, killing the Chitauri soldiers on those aircraft. They have blind spots in the passage. But my ammunition is consumed very quickly. Now you have to hurry up and go see Dr. Sevger. His brain should be restarted. Ask him if there is a way to close the passage." "Understood." Steve Rogers responded immediately, and then said, "Natasha, you go up there and take a look. Barton will report the situation from high-altitude reconnaissance. Let Stark take you up there. Bruce is on your side now. Thor, you go up there and use lightning to help Lin retreat when his ammunition runs out. Stark, lead the big guy over here, and then go up there to help. It's best not to let the alien army land. The blocking tactic is not uncommon. The diameter of the space passage is so large that the Chitauri mothership cannot enter, and its troops cannot enter directly at the same time because they cannot squeeze in. At the same time, inside the space channel, you can only see the front, and there is no view on the side, which leads to the current situation. Loki did not escape tragically, his plan failed. The aerospace mothership was also moving here, and Loki could not support the Chitauri. That is to say, Thanos does not care about these cannon fodders. These are suitable for cannon fodder, low-level soldiers among the Chitauri, and there are more advanced ones, which are Thanos's personal guards. In addition, Thanos also has powerful combat forces such as Ebony Maw, General Corvus Glaive, Proxima Midnight, and Black Dwarf. These are all Chitauri, and they are all very ugly. After Captain America made the arrangements, he turned around and began to check the surrounding situation to see if the NYPD had established a defense line. Bruce Banner looked at the big guy brought by Stark and whispered, "Hulk, it's your turn." In an instant, his body turned green and became bigger. Hulk attack. With a roar, Hulk jumped high and rushed towards Villiton. Stark flew at a low altitude and came to the side of Black Widow and Hawkeye. "Let's go." Grabbing one with each hand, he flew upwards. Hawkeye suddenly saw some Zatori soldiers. "The enemy has landed." "What?" Stark turned his head in the direction Hawkeye pointed, and then found that some Zatori soldiers were climbing on the building. Did they come down? It's that big guy. Link suddenly said, I can't break through here, it must be that big guy, it's a troop transport ship. Understood, I'll solve it. Stark sent Black Widow to the machine, but Hawkeye asked to change positions to help Stark, so Stark took him to the mobile building and then rushed to the Zatori soldiers. Hawkeye bent his bow and arrows to help Stark clean up. Link only had one ammunition box left, and he immediately said, my machine gun bullets will be empty, and the barrel is also hot. Thor is ready to pick me up. Another Villiton rushed out of the space channel, this time 1, 2, 3 of them rushed out from the front and back. Link called out hurriedly, 3 more, they are going to land infantry. Lin, I have sent out fighters, they will arrive soon. Nick Fury interrupted, let them take care of these big guys. Okay, shoot them down before they get close to the building, I hope there is no one below. Link said. Boom, several fighters rushed to the battlefield and then started air-to-air missiles. There is no possibility of missing such a big guy. Boom. The consecutive hits killed it instantly, and the Chitauri inside did not jump out. With the fall of the Villiton, whether it can survive depends on luck, however, the building below is unlucky. Such a huge guy fell directly, and it would be a disaster wherever it hits. However, these Villitons seem to have avoided the Stark building. They are probably worried about destroying the machine. Link thought that the bottom of the machine should be blown up. He said at this time, the ammunition is exhausted. Thor is in your hands. Here we come. There were lightning and thunder in the sky. Link stepped on the skateboard and landed. His car stopped at the entrance of Stark Industrial Building. Sizzle lightning attacked the exit of the passage. Whether it was the aircraft or the Villiton behind, they were all attacked. In an instant, the passage was empty, but Thor's durability was not enough. Chapter 92, Battle of New York 4. You are listening at NovelsNew. Link put the machine gun back on the car, then picked up the assault rifle, and then connected the skateboard to his back. Link flew up again with the scepter and came to the top of Stark Industries. How is it? Link asked. It can be closed. The doctor left a back door. You can use the scepter in your hand. It should be the same level as the cosmic cube. Black Widow said. Link handed over the scepter, and it seemed that it was no use. Dr. Sevager had woken up. It seemed that the battle would end soon. At this time, Dr. Sevager was operating a laptop. He quickly opened the back door and said, aim the scepter here and insert it to interfere with the energy release of the cosmic cube. It should be able to close it. Black Widow immediately said on the radio, I'm going to close the channel. Suddenly, the scepter in her hand flew out. Link was stunned and turned his head to see that it was Ebony Maw. He didn't expect that Ebony Maw would appear here on Earth. At this time, the other party was standing on a table and floating in the air. I knew Loki was unreliable, but luckily he came in person. Ebony Maw said disdainfully. Link couldn't understand why Thanos shouldn't send his most capable men to Earth at this time, because Odin, the god king of Asgard, was still alive, and the supreme sorcerer of Kamartaj was still Ancient One. Why did he do that? Just as Link was in a daze, Ebony Maw waved his hand, and Sevrig and Natasha all flew up. Link felt a force trying to control his body, and he jumped down. Then he immediately rushed towards Sevg and Natasha, and then called Stark, Tony, there is a problem, there is a guy who can control objects. It should be the Chitauri. I don't know what his methods are. Now we can only blow up the bottom of the machine. Stark said, blow it up. The machine has an energy shield, and it may not be closed after blowing it up. I don't know where the energy will go by then. There is no other way. It can only be done this way. Otherwise, the consequences of keeping the space channel open are difficult to estimate. Link had other plans in his mind. This opportunity was rare. You go and blow it up, and I'll go and see if I can ensure that the energy is aimed at other locations. Thor, that strange guy is in your hands. Give up the exit of the space channel. Understood. Thor waved his hammer and rushed towards Ebony Maw. Link grabbed the two and landed, hiding quickly. Let them hide in Stark Tower, and at the same time Link asked Alfred to control his car and enter Stark Tower. Then he flew up again, and Stark rushed to the building, aiming at the bottom of the machine and using a high-power energy impact. Boom boom, the bottom of the machine collapsed. The energy shield could not protect a large area. Then the machine began to fall. At the same time, the energy column disappeared. Ebony Maw wanted to control it, but Thor arrived and a lightning shot over. Ebony Maw could not resist lightning. His telekinesis could only control objects. He could only dodge to the side. Link rushed directly to the machine. At this time, the machine was miraculously shut down, but a wave of energy spread directly to the surroundings. Link's battle suit was shocked and there was no damage at all, but his flying skateboard power system suddenly had problems. Link was happy and avoided the falling gravel and grabbed the cosmic cube. Puff, puff. Link's body began to become unstable, but it was not a big problem. Alfred, use the battle suit to repair the flying skateboard and let me land. Okay, sir. Alfred directly used the nano on the left arm of the battle suit to repair the flying skateboard and the power system. At this time, Link exerted force with his right hand, and crushed the cosmic cube with a click. The space gem inside was instantly wrapped up by the suit, and then hidden at the waist. At the belt position, he looked around, and then slowly landed. The machine is turned off, but the last energy burst. I can't get close to it, my flying skateboard is broken. Don't worry about that, Thor can't deal with that guy, he can control objects. Stark said, I'll go to help. After Link landed, he ran directly into the Stark building. He didn't touch the suit, but took back the nano suit, and threw the flying skateboard into the trunk of the car. Dr. Sevger asked, what's the situation? It's turned off. After losing balance, it turned off directly, but the excess energy spread, affecting my flying skateboard. I can only land. Link said, now there is only one problem left. Natasha said, I can't fly up now, it depends on them, but I can go out and watch. After that, she walked out directly. Dr. Sevger followed behind, while Link was a little excited. He touched his waist. He wrapped the space gem with vibranium to prevent the spread of gamma rays. At the same time, he crushed the cosmic cube, and the fragments fell down. It is estimated that S.H.I.E.L.D. will find it, and it is better to let them think that the cosmic cube is destroyed anyway. He will not go out, because the battle outside has nothing to do with him. It depends on Thor and Stark. There are not many people who can fly now. Of course, if Ebony Maw lowers the altitude, then he will be unlucky. Hulk can jump very high, and there is Hawkeye. Link went to the car to get cigarettes and bourbon, and sat in the trunk to rest. Because of my presence, I was able to stop Loki's plan in advance and seize the absolute advantage. However, the escalation of the battle was too big, and Ebony Maw appeared, but I should thank him. If it weren't for him, I wouldn't have had the chance to get the Space Stone. But what is Thanos thinking? This time is obviously different. The appearance of Ebony Maw. Link was stunned when he thought of this, and then he ran out immediately. Looking up, a beam of light rushed down from the sky and directly enveloped Ebony Maw. Then he took him away, but he didn't have a scepter in his hand, probably because it was knocked off. What's the situation? Link asked. I don't know. We were going to take him down, but a beam of light appeared in the sky. Hawkeye said. Stark said, it should be gravity technology. It seems that they have at least one spaceship in outer space. I don't know if it's over. Stark's tone was very serious, and Thor said, they dared to attack the place protected by Asgard. This is a provocation to Asgard. After the rainbow is repaired, I will take the army to teach them a lesson. Chapter 93 End. You are listening at NovelsNew. Link had to remind him, Tony, do you have a satellite? Yes. Stark then remembered that they had a satellite in Stark Industries. Jarvis, adjust the satellite angle immediately and lock the position of the other spaceship according to the tractor beam just now. Yes, sir. Jarvis started to act, and soon Tony Stark got a face-changing, a ring-shaped spaceship, which was very large in size, was accelerating at this time, slowly moving away from the Earth, and then disappeared with a whoosh. They left. Stark said, "This is a strange shape, a ring-shaped spaceship. Why don't they attack directly?" Thor said, "It should be a small spaceship carried by Thanos' mothership." "Who is Thanos?" Steve Rogers asked. "A powerful existence in the universe. The Chitauri surrender to him. First of all, he has a large number of troops." Thor said, "He often looks for some planets and then slaughters half of the intelligent life on them. All civilizations in the universe call him Thanos, even some advanced civilizations dare not provoke him. This time it is more like his testing whether the Rainbow Bridge in Asgard has been repaired. Loki must have told him that the Rainbow Bridge was destroyed. So he dared to come." Link was also thinking at this time. The Ancient One was still there. Was Thanos also testing the Ancient One? If it was to test the Ancient One, then sending Ebony Maw over would be a matter of course. After all, the wizards would not care about the invasion of the general alien army. Therefore, only by sending Ebony Maw over can the attitude of the Ancient One be truly tested. Thanos knew the Ancient One, which was inevitable. After all, Kamartaj had existed for a long time, and many people in the universe knew about her. Buzz. In the sky, a large number of Quinjet fighters landed. Coulson walked down wearing Ironmonger, and Nick Fury walked behind. Sure enough, something seemed to be missing just now, and now it turns out to be Coulson, who didn't follow directly just now. Nick Fury still had some reservations, and Link didn't care, just watched them rush to the machine developed by Dr. Sevger. "Report to the director, the cosmic cube is missing." The S.H.I.E.L.D. agent saw the empty machine and reported immediately. "Search for it immediately." Nick Fury's expression became serious. Stark landed with Hawkeye and asked Thor, "Everyone, have you seen the cosmic cube?" Link said, "After losing stability, I wanted to rush over, but suddenly there was an energy explosion and my flying skateboard had problems, so I had to land. But the space channel was directly closed at that time, so I didn't look at it again." Stark said, "Yes, after destroying my building, I rushed over to deal with the alien." Nick Fury turned to look at Hawkeye, who shook his head and said, "I was supporting Thor at the time." "Director," suddenly someone shouted, "some fragments were found." Nick Fury hurried over and looked at the fragments in a daze. "What fragments are these?" "Maybe it's from the cosmic cube, there are gamma rays involved on it, and the energy value is very high. This is a technician from S.H.I.E.L.D., maybe it's broken." "Thor, do you understand?" Nick Fury turned to look at Thor. Thor was stunned and said, "I don't know much about this. The cosmic cube was originally in Asgard, and was later placed on Earth by my father. I don't know the specific reason, and I haven't used it. I don't know whether this thing will break or not." Nick Fury was a little unbelievable. After all, they had mastered the cosmic cube for many years and had been preparing to develop weapons, but now everything is over, broken. "Continue to look for more fragments, block the entire server around, and piece together a shape for me." Nick Fury said unwillingly. "Yes, Director." The technicians began to search with the equipment in their hands. "It shouldn't be too troublesome, after all, there are strong gamma-ray residues," Link said at this time. "Director Fury, if there is nothing else, then I will go back first. I also want to see how my girlfriend is." "Okay, those in New York will go back first." Nick Fury nodded. Link turned around and left, returned to the car, and drove the car out of Stark Building directly, then said to Stark, "Tony, remember to exchange technology, you can come to Osborn Building tomorrow night." "Damn, your building is far away from here, there must be no damage." Stark only remembered at this time. Link waved goodbye to everyone, then drove away, and soon met the NYPD on the defense line. He showed his ID and was then released. All the way to the gym, after opening the door, I found that Jessica and the others were here, including Osborn and his son. "Okay, it's over, Norman, you can go back, our building should have no damage," Link said. "That's good, but Link, you are really not simple. Norman Osborn said, then smiled, and took his son and the driver away from here. Link then said, Frank, McCall, take us back to the building. Okay, sir. Link took out the flying skateboard from the trunk and put it in the trunk of the Rolls-Royce. Now it can't turn back into a ring, and can only be nanoized. As for the car, there was no damage, but the weapons were consumed a lot. But there was also a problem, that is, the bullets were not powerful enough, and there were too few ammunitions, which was not suitable for long-term combat, or even for fighting aliens. Link considered taking out the energy pistol to use it. After all, the bullets were too troublesome. Of course, there was no rush now, and it was estimated that there would be no problems for a long time. Back to the Osborn building, the two took the elevator back to the top floor. Sure enough, there was no impact here. Link took the skateboard down to the studio and asked Alfred to repair it. Alfred, close the studio and prepare for energy testing. Link said. Okay, sir. Alfred directly closed the studio. Link took off his suit at this time, and the nano suit receded like a tide, but a ring with a blue gem on the middle finger of Link's left hand was formed. Buzz. A stream of energy entered Link's body, but Link didn't react to it, because this energy was not much for him. At this time, he also understood how to use the Infinity Stones and the general principles of the Infinity Gauntlet. Chapter 94 Avengers. You are listening at NovelsNew. In fact, the Infinity Gauntlet is just made of better material and can carry the energy of 6 Infinity Stones, but once the energy is too great, such as letting the Infinity Stones destroy themselves, even the Infinity Gauntlet cannot bear it. Thanos' body has suffered severe damage, and Link estimated at this time that he can fully withstand the use of the Infinity Stones to make a wish, but it is still difficult to estimate whether the Infinity Stones themselves can be destroyed. Alfred, are there gamma rays? Link asked. No sir, there is no energy emission at all. Alfred replied. Then scan the ring. Link said. Scanning. Alfred then said, sorry, it cannot be scanned. Link's mouth curled up slightly. He was very satisfied. As expected, the shells of the Infinity Stones are actually used to use the gems. Under normal circumstances, if it is in its original state, ordinary people cannot use it at all. Its shell is more like an energy-absorbing device, extracting energy from the Infinity Stones, and then it is used by people. If you use the gems yourself, you must bear its energy. Link can use the space gems at this time, but it is not necessary. He smiled and said, open the seal. Yes. Alfred opened the studio. Link got up and walked up. Jessica had already poured him wine and prepared a cigar. Link kissed his girlfriend, then sat on the sofa and lay back. Director, it seems that the cosmic cube is indeed broken. Coulson has come out of the ironmonger. After all, this ironmonger is big enough, and it is more convenient to wear than Tony Stark's iron armor. Now in front of them is a pair of cubes made up of fragments. It is transparent. The blue in the past is the energy of the space gem. Nick Fury looked carefully and then asked, is the energy participation really strong? Yes, Director. The technician on the side said, we will not make a mistake about this. It must have been broken when the energy exploded after losing balance. Nick Fury frowned. His intuition told him that this should not be the case, but the strength of this thing is not low. After all, the energy it carries is extremely terrifying. How could it break in an instant? And the intensity of the final energy explosion does not seem to be that great, right? Nick Fury looked up and saw that the surrounding buildings were damaged to varying degrees, but the glass was all broken. He was not a technician, and technicians could not figure out the cosmic cube. He could not figure it out for a moment, so he said, let's continue investigating. After that, he turned and left. There were still many things waiting for him to deal with. As for this incident, it was soon reported in major media. The battle process was not long, but the whole world saw the big guy of Villiton. It seemed that a big hole had cracked in the sky, and a large number of aliens came through it. Finally, there was a strange restraint from the universe. All countries reacted strongly to this. After all, there were really aliens, and alien armies came to the Earth. Ordinary people could not accept it at all. the next night, Stark flew over, exchanged technology with Link, and flew back in a hurry. Nanotechnology was more important to Stark, and Link was actually dispensable for energy technology because he already had it, but it was not good to use it directly. The two sides were considered friends. A few days later, Nick Fury invited Link. This time the Avengers were gathered together. Link hid the space stone in his pocket and did not carry it with him. After all, Thor was still here. He did not return to Asgard. After all, he could not go back before the Rainbow Bridge was repaired. After all, the cosmic cube was broken, and he could only wait. And Link did not know Thor's understanding of the Infinity Stones, so Link could not show the Space Stone casually. Everyone, I invited you here just to talk about the Avengers. Nick Fury then began to explain the Avengers' plan, but after listening to it, Steve Rogers said, "What about the energy weapons before, that he would not pretend that it had not happened?" Nick Fury raised his eyebrows. He did not expect that this matter was still not over. Link thought for a moment and said, "Mr. Director, I think you should tell the truth. Thor alone would not allow you to develop energy weapons. Hiding many things is not conducive to trust. Especially the Avengers you mentioned. If you want everyone to truly trust you, you must be sincere enough." Nick Fury nodded slightly. He judged the situation and found that this was indeed true. "Okay, then there are some things that should be told to you." Nick Fury said, "In 1995, an alien fleet came to Earth. They were called the Kree." Nick Fury did not introduce the characteristics of the Skrulls, that is, their genetic replication ability. Link estimated that a large number of Skrulls remained on Earth, and Nick Fury's wife is also a Skrull. Link certainly would not say this. He would do whatever he wanted. Nick Fury talked about Captain Marvel Carol Danvers, which surprised Thor the most. He hurriedly said, "Wait, do you mean he can blow up the Kree warships with his bare hands?" "Yes, she blew up one ship, and then the others retreated." Nick Fury nodded slightly. "I didn't see the Asgardians come to help during this crisis. You keep saying that the Earth is under your protection, but I don't know if we can rely on you. Especially your Prince Loki, he is trying to conquer the Earth. As the director of S.H.I.E.L.D., I must ensure the safety of the Earth. It's not that we like to develop weapons. Isn't it normal for S.H.I.E.L.D. to develop weapons as a global organization? Otherwise, what can we use to surround the Earth? Aerospace mothership? I was a little proud before, but now this thing seems to be useless, even worse than a few fighter planes. It can be deployed quickly around the world, but once the alien army attacks from space, we are still powerless. So, I hope to form an Avengers alliance. Even if the Earth fails, you can still inflict heavy damage on the enemy." Hearing this, everyone finally understood Nick Fury's true thoughts and intentions. He has really faced alien warships, and it was a fleet. Everyone looked at each other, and Link was the first to say, "I'm willing to join, but there are some issues that need to be discussed." Chapter 95 Conditions. You are listening at NovelsNew. Nick Fury asked, "Lin, what do you want to talk about?" "It's not that I want it, but that we, first of all, need to let us people talk to each other." Link said, "I estimate that everyone will join, but what should we do after joining? This is a huge problem." Nick Fury nodded slightly and said, "Okay, then I'll leave this place to you for the time being. Just call me after we've negotiated." Nick Fury turned around and went out. This was the New York branch. After all, everyone was basically here. Link spoke again, "What do you think?" "Lin, tell me first." Steve Rogers said first, "After all, we all know your wisdom. If it weren't for you, if we were a little late, the Chitauri army would enter Earth." "That's right." Stark also said, "I'm a little bit behind in this aspect." He refused to admit defeat, and the others nodded. Link thought for a while and then said, "Okay, first of all, once we join the Avengers, we must give up our identity as S.H.I.E.L.D. I think the Avengers cannot be led by S.H.I.E.L.D. They should be an organization with decision-making power in operations. We cannot become tools." "Agree." Stark immediately agreed. To be honest, even if Fury has revealed some secrets, I am still sure that he has more secrets. Link smiled and said, that's for sure. How long has S.H.I.E.L.D. been established? How come there is only a little secret? Of course, the Kree attack did threaten the security of the Earth. And that Thanos is also not a good guy. Even advanced civilizations can't do anything to him. His killings are appalling. Think about the Earth, with a population of 7 billion. If he kills half of it, it will be 3.5 billion. I can't imagine such a terrifying number. Everyone's expressions became serious. Link continued, but we need a liaison with S.H.I.E.L.D., and I think Captain America is the most suitable. He will be responsible for the communication between us. This bridge is trusted by everyone, how about it? No problem. Everyone agreed. Link looked at Thor and said, we are still very unfamiliar with the universe, and we need Asgard's help. You were able to protect the Earth in the past, but it seems to be much worse now. Is there something wrong with you internally? Thor was stunned for a moment, and then said in a depressed mood, my father entered Odin's sleep before. He was too old, and due to Loki's actions, the Rainbow Bridge was destroyed, so Asgard's army could not reach the Earth. Stark asked curiously, you don't have a spaceship? No, because the Rainbow Bridge can withstand anywhere. Thor said, and it can land anywhere. In the previous battles in Asgard, it appeared in front of the enemy. Stark rolled his eyes, and Link said, Thor, we want to form an alliance with Asgard. This is an alliance between the Avengers and Asgard. Of course, now we need more, including information about the universe, star maps, technology, etc. If possible, I hope that Tony and Bruce can go there to study. I know that the current civilization of the Earth is not suitable for contacting interstellar civilization, but we Avengers can. I believe that with the wisdom of the two of them, they can definitely absorb and consume a lot of knowledge. Soul hesitated and said, I can't make the decision on this matter. Then how about you take me with you when you go back? Link said, I hope to meet Odin in person and discuss with him. After all, doesn't Asgard have any enemies? In my opinion, you have been stable for too long. It has always been God King Odin who deters other civilizations. And Thor, you are still not up to your father's strength. Thor had to admit this, so he said, okay, I will take you there to see what my father means. Link nodded. As long as he went over, he didn't want to show his strength on the Earth, but it might not be impossible in front of the God King. After all, if you don't have strength, the God King may not be able to talk to you. Tony and I will fund the construction of an Avengers headquarters. We will be responsible for the funds ourselves, without the need for an official. This way we can have more freedom. Link continued, of course, there will also be a salary. Under normal circumstances, if the Avengers headquarters needs to be permanently occupied, Steve, Natasha, and Clint will need you. Thor will not stay on the Earth forever. We need a means of communication and cannot rely too much on the Rainbow Bridge. This is a lesson. Bruce can work in Stark Industries or Osborn Group, you can be qualified no matter where. We'll talk about it later if we think of anything, but the main thing we're talking about is the code of conduct. Everyone nodded in agreement. Link saw that he had reached a unified opinion, and then called Nick Fury in for negotiation. Nick Fury guessed it. After all, Link reminded him on the mothership to pay attention to nuclear bombs, and then the World Security Council actually gave the order. Unfortunately, Nick Fury partially blocked the weapons depot in advance. Moreover, the fighter planes were heavily damaged, and the remaining ones were flown out to provide support. There were no fighter planes to carry them. Nick Fury was really scared and broke out in a cold sweat. If it was really launched, the consequences would be disastrous, especially since Thor from Asgard was there. Asgard's Rainbow Bridge is not usable now, but it is about to be repaired. Once it is repaired, will Asgard send a large army to the Earth? At that time, he will have to summon Captain Marvel, but the losses he will suffer will be extremely huge. What is the strength of the God King of Asgard? Look at Thor, This guy's combat power is already very strong, and his father is much stronger than him, otherwise he can't take back his divine power. These things have been analyzed by special people in S.H.I.E.L.D., which may not be accurate, but can only be estimated at a high level. Nick Fury said, I agree with your opinions and ideas. I will be responsible for communicating with the World Security Council on this matter. You can prepare first. Link didn't expect it to be so smooth, but Nick Fury must have something he didn't say, but this matter has nothing to do with them. No matter what the reason, Link will definitely not obey the command of the World Security Council. In addition, with him around, Vision wouldn't have been born, and Ultron wouldn't have happened, so Tony Stark wouldn't agree to this. Chapter 96 Confirmation. You are listening at NovelsNew. Both parties reached a preliminary proposal, and today's work was successfully completed. Then they discussed where to put it. This was not difficult. After all, it could not be placed in the city, so they chose a location in the suburbs, where there were more places. They exported the map on the spot, and then picked and chose a location. Stark asked Jarvis to buy it directly, and then discussed the design of the construction with Link. Link proposed that there should be prisons, radars, air defense and other security measures first, and then there should be functions such as living, training and cultivation, and then there should be transportation. In addition, it is also necessary to build nano suits for everyone. Before Link crossed over, he watched the movie and felt that the resources were not fully utilized. Obviously, there was nanotechnology. Even if the armor was not built, it would be good to build a suit. It would be fine if there were more shots of Black Widow changing clothes, but there was none at all later, which was really regrettable. It is understandable. After all, if Tony Stark built the Iron Legion, it would not be easy for Thanos to snap his fingers. For example, Thor's chopping was off-center, Captain Marvel was not at home, and the Avengers were fighting separately, etc., all of which were ways to forcibly reduce combat effectiveness. Focusing on a prolonged plot, Link would naturally not let this happen. The Avengers were very strong, so he just had to play a supporting role. At most, he could take out energy weapons, and the attack power was not low. Nick Fury returned to S.H.I.E.L.D., and he had to face the World Security Council. After all, the strength of the Avengers was now seen by the whole world, and there were many debates about them. Some people thought they were heroes, some thought they should be responsible for the alien invasion, and some thought the government was hiding something and they had the right to know. It was very chaotic, and the world was not short of news and topics for a while. The most famous one was naturally Tony Stark, who was Iron Man and a public figure, but wanting to interview him was a dream. Stark was now fully committed to the Avengers headquarters. Link just transferred the money and waited for the design plan to come out before he expressed his opinion. Lin, what do you think of the strength of the prison? Stark called again. Link said, find Bruce and Thor. If they can't get out, there will be no problem. Stark was stunned. Why didn't I think of that? Link was also stunned. Stark, make a complete design first, and then consider this problem. Now we need an overall design, not partial design details. Okay, I've done this, I'll send it to you. Stark sent an email directly, and Link came to his studio to check it out. The design is similar to the one in the movie, but its internal functions are different. Link looked at it and found no problem. He finally designed an Avengers logo and sent it to Stark. Stark unexpectedly agreed after reading it. He also felt that this logo was good and could be used to build everyone's battle suits in the future. Lin, how do I think the captain's battle suit should be designed? Stark asked. Link smiled and asked, don't you like the captain's fancy clothes? No, I mean, it should conform to modern aesthetics. Do you understand? Stark would definitely not admit it. Okay, you can say whatever you want. Anyway, the nanotechnology is given to you, so you can do whatever you want. Link said, but he is Captain America after all, and some things must be available, which is very beneficial to us. I understand. Stark nodded slightly. Nick Fury's confrontation with the World Security Council did not produce any results. He is the director of S.H.I.E.L.D., and the strength of the Avengers is there, so the two sides can cooperate. If you want to control, what can you control? Nick Fury directly fought back, and people like Black Widow, Hawkeye, and Link left S.H.I.E.L.D. and joined the Avengers directly, which is the best result. At the same time, Captain America will serve as a liaison officer to ensure communication between the two sides. The Avengers will not participate in political issues, which is the bottom line, especially Stark and Link. Now that the chairmen of the two groups have joined the Avengers, they have no shortage of funds for development. It is already very good to only be responsible for the safety of the Earth and not interfere in other matters. In addition, the Avengers will form an alliance with Asgard to support each other to deal with possible alien threats in the future. Asgard will not provide technology to the Earth. After all, the overall technological level of the Earth is still too low to digest this knowledge, but Stark and Bruce should have no problem. Asgard may agree to provide only a few people, so that the Earth has some protection, which is the best result. If more people are required, the consequences are unpredictable. At worst, they will not join the Avengers. The World Security Council has no choice. Facing two major groups, they have lawyers to fight with you. Nick Fury has many secrets. He also has an alien spaceship in the outer space of the Earth. The Skrulls followed Carol Danvers to leave the Earth and find a new home. As a result, they came back 2 years later. Their trip was not smooth, so they could only return to Earth to settle down temporarily. Some of them entered the Earth to help Nick Fury, and the other part stayed on the spaceship. SWRD was secretly established, and all the alien objects found by S.H.I.E.L.D., including the mysterious objects representing 084, were all launched into the universe by rockets, that is, into this spaceship. If he wanted to build a spaceship, it would not be difficult. The Skrulls could help him build it, and the one in space was a Kree spaceship, which could be used for research, but Nick Fury did not do this at all, and he did not want to hand these things over to the World Security Council, and these were his confidence. It's just that Nick Fury's confidence was not so reliable. Some of the Skrulls later launched a rebellion. The most entangled problem for Nick Fury now is the cosmic cube. His intuition tells him that something is not right, but the fragments are real. Although they cannot be pieced together into a complete cube, it is almost the same. After all, it is too broken. Even Thor does not know much about the cosmic cube. This matter will eventually fall on the god King Odin. Nick Fury hopes that Thor will talk to him before he goes back. Let him ask the god King whether the cosmic cube really exploded, and how great the energy impact will be after the explosion. The reason why Nick Fury thought there was a problem was because the energy impact was too small. For example, Link's skateboard had problems when it encountered the energy impact, but he himself was fine. Chapter 97 Discussion on the show. You are listening at NovelsNew. Dear, I received an invitation from Victoria's Secret. Do you want to accompany me? Jessica took an invitation and came to Link's side that day. Link was stunned for a moment, and then suddenly realized that there were many overlaps between the Marvel world and his original world. Naturally, a show like this in the fashion industry would not be absent. In the original world, Victoria's Secret could not survive in the end. Its positioning was too sexy and gorgeous, but it did not meet the needs of consumer groups. This thing looks good, but it makes you uncomfortable when you put it on. There are problems with its business strategy and innovation. Link nodded and said, okay, let's go take a look. But I think the brand you are wearing now is good. It is sexy and comfortable. Jessica put her arms around Link's neck and asked, don't you want to see me with wings? Link rolled his eyes, but suddenly he had inspiration and said, why don't you look for someone who makes cheongsam? I would like to see you wearing a cheongsam. Oh, is it an oriental cheongsam? Jessica seemed to understand. Link was Chinese. Okay, I will look for it, but shall we go? Shaking the invitation in his hand again, Link could only nod and go ahead. It was rare that Jessica had some requests, so Link would naturally not refuse. I'm going to invite Trish. Jessica ran away immediately and called Trish. This time the Victoria's Secret show was held in New York, and many New York celebrities were invited. When Link, Jessica, and Tracy arrived on time in a Rolls-Royce Phantom, they saw Tony getting off the car at their front door. Stark and Pepper Potts, they were arranged in front of Link. Link was sure that this was Pepper's request, and it was probably the same as his situation. With McCall as the driver, Frank got out of the car in the passenger seat and opened the door at the back. Link got out of the car first, and then picked up Jessica and Tracy. There are two people holding their arms, one on the left and the other on the right. Tracy is also a big star. She has been famous since she was a child and is popular in everything she does, although there are unbearable past events, most people don't know, and the media doesn't think they came together. Jessica and Trish are stepsisters, and Jessica was adopted by Trish's mother. This matter is not news, but Jessica's current situation is news. Her boyfriend is the latest billionaire to acquire the Osborne Group and is the chairman of the Osborne Group. He also owns 10% of Stark Industries, established the Jessica Charitable Foundation, invested in United Construction Company to develop Hell's Kitchen, and so on. This man's rise is extremely fast, and he is naturally the target of media exploration. Unfortunately, Link is not Stark. He is too low-key and rarely goes out, especially after moving to the Osborne Group. The studio is like Link's new toy, the flashing lights were like exploding. Link was wearing sunglasses, but Trish and Jessica were not. They seemed to be fine. Trish was used to it, and Jessica was said to have encountered this often. After all, she is Trish's sister, and she will be chased by the media, which makes her very annoying. However, now that she is responsible for most of the affairs together with Link, she has also tempered herself. The two beauties had different styles, one holding Link's arms on the left and the other on the right, making Link the envy of the men. The three of them walked along the red carpet together, listening to the calls from around them, and turning around from time to time to let people take photos. The short red carpet lasted nearly 3 minutes. No one came to urge me. I signed at the entrance and then entered the venue. Stark waved, and the three of them walked over. They hugged each other, and then sat down. Link and Stark sat together, the three of them got together, and their postures seemed very familiar to each other, but Link and Stark knew nothing about it. Stark said, "The construction of the headquarters has begun and everything is going smoothly. I asked Thor and Banner to test it. There is no problem with the prison's defense. I just need to ask for advice about my personal room. My room doesn't matter, as long as it has a bathroom for normal living." Link said, "The Captain and Black Widow are the permanent residents. Hawkeye is married, and his home address is a secret. This must be kept secret." Stark nodded, and then said, "I am going to improve the Quinjet fighter and then use your weapons factory to produce it. No problem, I will keep an eye on it personally, and we should all learn how to drive it, but the key is the spaceship." Link said, "The Kree people Fury said before are worthy of vigilance. We are still too unfamiliar with our understanding of the universe. If possible, we should go to the universe once. Asgard is the key." Stark's eyes lit up and he said, "I think so too. I want to see where the gap is between us and them. I don't feel that the Chitauri are that strong. My plan is to build an Iron Legion, but Jarvis isn't enough when it comes to control. No, one Jarvis is not enough." Link said, "The Osborne Group has also developed an artificial intelligence called Alfred, which is similar to Jarvis. If one is not enough, we will use a few more. But you must not think about developing real artificial intelligence. This is very dangerous. I have an idea that should rarely come to fruition. What do you think?" Stark asked. "Legion plan." Link said, "Develop several more artificial intelligences, each Avenger will master one, and through the Avengers' orders, the artificial intelligence will command the robots to fight. And the robots can be of various types, such as fire support, assault close combat, infiltration and reconnaissance, etc. These are closely related to the Avengers, and let the artificial intelligence learn the habits of the controller. Make use of the aspects that each Avenger is good at, so there is no need to worry about artificial intelligence rebellion. You must know that once real artificial intelligence is developed, they will control war weapons. The Chitauri have mastered advanced civilization. Although they are ugly, they have indeed entered the interstellar age. Why don't they use artificial intelligence? Is it not possible?" Stark fell into deep thought. He did want to develop real artificial intelligence, but Link was right. Why don't the Chitauri use it? This is a problem, so it is worth being vigilant, and Link's idea is indeed good. "Okay, I will consider your suggestion. I will design a new artificial intelligence to cooperate with me in combat. Stark said, if the plan works, then some of Osborn's weapons factories will have to be transformed. Don't worry, there is no problem with this. Link said. Chapter 98 Not interested. You are listening at NovelsNew. Just as the two of them were whispering, the music started and the applause was thunderous. Let's not talk about how Victoria's Secret's underwear is made, but they are very successful in this kind of show. As everyone knows, the most popular thing in New York is shows, and various charity shows and political shows emerge in an endless stream. The supermodels began to appear one by one, and what they wore seemed a little weird to Link. Anyway, it didn't fit his aesthetic. Stark was also uninterested. Link asked, do you like this type of underwear? No. Stark shook his head and said, it doesn't seem sexy to me. These models are good, Lin. You really don't have other women. Stark, I don't even go out. Link said, women, it's not easy to have one that suits you, especially to have love, one is enough. Link really thought so. For enjoyment, he only had bourbon and cigars, and there were also delicacies. He didn't have high requirements for housing and clothing. As for women, Jessica was the most suitable for him. After all, they were all special. You really are. Stark was speechless. He has changed now, but he used to spend money on wine and women, and he thought he enjoyed too much. And what about Link? This is an absolutely good man. Then will you buy it for Jessica? Stark asked. It depends on the situation. I'm not short of money. If she likes it, I'll buy it. She doesn't ask for anything at ordinary times. How can I not satisfy such a small request? Link said, that's right, I hope she doesn't wear it at night. I don't like wings. The two men looked at each other, then shut up tacitly and began to appreciate the beauty. Whether they like the clothes or not, the models' figures are at least good, and it's not boring to look at them. To put it bluntly, the things here don't meet Link's aesthetics. The three women were chattering on the side, and they seemed to have to comment on each set. The height of the three of them was not short. Jessica was 175 centimeters, Tracy was 172 centimeters, and Pepper was 175 centimeters. With high heels, their height instantly exceeded 180 centimeters. That is to say, Stark and Link are tall enough, otherwise, standing with them, the pressure is too great, and many of these models are over 180 centimeters tall, plus high heels, and the perspective problem of the audience, they seem taller. Fortunately, it didn't last long. When it was over, Link stood up and applauded symbolically, and then asked Jessica what she thought. If you really want to buy it, but Jessica finally gave up the idea. After talking to you that day, I went to the Victoria's Secret store to have a look, and I tried it, and it was really uncomfortable. Then, Jessica said in Link's ear, I customized the Chong Sam, it's at home. Link's eyes lit up, and he pulled Jessica and said, then we should go home as soon as possible. After sending Tracy back, the two hurried back home. Jessica went to the cloakroom, and when she came out again, she was already wearing a red Chong Sam. Link's eyes lit up. The workmanship was really good. Where did you find the tailor? I'll make sure he makes clothes for you in the future. I think it's good too, but now is not the time to talk about tailors. Jessica put her arms around Link's neck, and the two of them were entangled together. There was also a studio below their bedroom, but there was no equipment here. Instead, there was a support and buffer structure to disperse the pressure on the bedroom floor. This is a very necessary design. The floor is strong and the support is increased at the same time, so that the force from above is dispersed to the main support around. At the same time, during the process of force transmission, a multi-stage buffer structure is adopted to gradually reduce the pressure. After all, the main support is the life gate of the building, and it must not bear too much force. Through multiple stages of buffering, the force reaching here is minimized and within the tolerance range. Of course, Link will not use his full strength, and Jessica can't stand it. This building can't bear his huge power. In fact, it mainly introduces Jessica's strength, such as her position on top. Don't underestimate Jessica's strength. With exercise, her strength continues to grow, but her strength is not as good as Hulk's. The gap between the two is incalculable. Hulk's power will increase with anger, which Jessica cannot do. Her training only stimulates her potential. Her power comes from mutation, which comes from a drug. The construction of the Avengers headquarters is progressing very quickly. Money means you can do whatever you want. Stark uses the team of Stark Industries to be responsible for the construction, which is carried out in 3 shifts. There are many heavy equipment used, so the construction efficiency is extremely fast. The road leading to the Avengers headquarters has been completed, and the base of the headquarters has also been completed. The remaining construction parts are much simpler. The slowest construction period is actually equipment installation and decoration, which requires slow work, but the Avengers have nothing to do anyway, and everyone is now free. Loki is imprisoned in S.H.I.E.L.D., Thor is dating Jane Foster, Bruce Banner is helping Stark, and Link is still in the RD of drugs at the Osborn Group. He is responsible for guidance and review. Captain America was familiar with S.H.I.E.L.D.'s business, Hawkeye went home to rest, and Black Widow stayed with Captain America, responsible for introducing him to S.H.I.E.L.D. situation and training him to use some equipment. Phil Coulson did not join the Avengers. Nick Fury had high hopes for him, so he would not let him join the Avengers. It is not difficult to obtain information about the Avengers, or Nick Fury does not need the Avengers yet. Many Avengers have shown their faces before, or Link is the only one who has shown his face. He has always been wearing a battle suit and a helmet, so others don't know who he is. The reappearance of Captain America also made the world boil. In this Marvel universe, Captain America is very well known on Earth. He is the first superhero known to everyone. The American people are very concerned about the reappearance of Captain America, and there is a lot of demand for it. S.H.I.E.L.D. reported this matter to the Avengers. The Avengers are now considered to be established. The first thing is about whether Steve Rogers should go to the media to respond to people's calls. The Avengers then called everyone to a meeting to discuss this matter collectively. The Avengers adopted a voting system, that is, after explaining the reasons to everyone, and then voting collectively, the minority obeys the majority. Even if you are unwilling, you have to obey instead of walking away, which would be irresponsible. Link must fundamentally prevent the emergence of a divisive situation so that he can protect himself. Chapter 99 Oprah Show. You are listening at NovelsNew. It is not necessary to arrive at the Avengers headquarters, even a video conference is fine. Hawkeye and Thor used video. Of course, Thor joined under the guidance of Jane Foster. Everyone, this is what happened. Steve Rogers introduced the situation. Natasha suggested that I ask everyone's opinions. Thor said, "What use can this interview have?" Natasha said, "Interviews can help the public understand us better. The public opinion outside is very complicated now, and the attitude towards us is also diverse. I think Captain America's appearance in the media is an opportunity for us. She was an agent and spy before, so she knows these very well, and her opinions are quite clear." Stark said, "It doesn't matter, I don't care much about other people's opinions." Stark does his own thing, so he naturally doesn't care, but does he really not care? Link denied this. Stark's genius is both an advantage and a disadvantage. Of course, his heart is actually kind, especially after experiencing the kidnapping incident. Ethan's death has stimulated him a lot. Link said, "You can go to the media and find a talk show with the greatest influence, and appear in front of the public in a conversational way. Captain's deeds are widely known around the world, and many people are curious about him. Everyone hopes to know about Captain's situation. Of course, the same is true for us Avengers. Natasha can go with him." Stark said, "Lynn, you should actually go. Your psychology is very useful in this kind of show, and you are the only Avenger who has not appeared before." Link was full of black lines. He actually didn't want to show up, but this is the current situation. He is the only Avenger who remains mysterious. This is a bit unfair to others. Link thought for a moment and said, "Okay, but Natasha needs to go too. The three of us are a good match, and women have advantages. Does anyone have any other opinions?" "What about Thor?" Hawkeye asked. "He's a real alien, should he go too?" "Not very suitable. Link said, Thor doesn't know much about the situation on Earth, and his way of thinking is different from ours, so he can easily fall into the host's language trap. Like the captain, he's actually used to facing the media. You know, he also toured the United States back then. Natasha is an agent, she can identify language traps, and I have psychology, so I think I should be careful when I go to the media for the first time. You know, many people stand against us and attack us in order to attract attention. It's right to be careful when you appear in public for the first time. That's decided. Steve Rogers nodded, the three of us will go first, and the others will go later. After it was confirmed, Natasha was responsible for contacting. She was the Avengers' external liaison officer, and she was responsible for all matters in this regard. Captain America is responsible for contacting S.H.I.E.L.D., which is worthy of the trust of both parties. Of course, it is the easiest thing for S.H.I.E.L.D. to deceive the Avengers. As a woman, Black Widow has advantages. She is responsible for external affairs. On the one hand, she has no family burden, and on the other hand, she has excellent professional ability. She contacted Oprah's talk show. The cover show has been running for more than 20 years, but recently I heard that it will be discontinued. However, Natasha believes that Oprah's ability is the best, and her orientation is also relatively positive. Instead of going to its show, it is better to come to this show and let them promote it in advance. Maybe they can keep the show. She naturally won't say that she likes this show, but Link thinks it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter which show you go to. If there are fewer difficulties, it's not bad. Sure enough, when Oprah received Natasha's call, she was even a little bit unbelievable. She then made detailed inquiries, including the three people who participated in the show. Captain America, of course, she knew, but Natasha didn't know, and Link also knew. She was very surprised that the newly rising New York upstart was also a member of the Avengers, the only one wearing a helmet in the previous war. Now the problem came to her side. What specific questions should she ask? So, she found the director team and explained the situation. The director team immediately reported to the TV station. This episode of the program must be a hit and the publicity must be expanded. Someone suggested that the audience's questions could be collected and then screened. Of course, stupid questions could not be raised, but with more people, there would always be valuable questions, which were also a means of publicity. The TV station then organized personnel to optimize the questions, so that the topic could be hyped for a long time. Immediately, Oprah started to promote it herself. Of course, the names of the Avengers who attended were not made public, but were left as suspense until the day of the live broadcast. This matter could not be recorded. The effect of recording would be much worse, so it must be live. The publicity outside was afraid of being overwhelming. Link did not pay attention to it, and he did not prepare anything, but continued to study. Research and development was not difficult for him. What he lacked now was basic knowledge, more basic knowledge, and he also collected different books and papers. The collection of books in his library is now very large, all of which are about science. Every time, Link would ask the library to prepare a batch of books for him and then send them to him, and he would take back the ones he had finished reading. This matter seems unreliable, but the people in the library did not say much. After all, Link is the boss and gave them the job. You know, this library is now located in Hell's Kitchen. For some children who want to change their destiny, this is a very precious place. The security measures here are very good. No one dares to come here to make trouble. It is an absolutely quiet place and very suitable for learning. Finally, the time for the live broadcast of the program has come. This time they set off in battle suits. The new battle suits have been designed. Natasha's battle suit is still the style of S.H.I.E.L.D., which shows her figure to the fullest. There is also a pistol on the right thigh. Captain America's battle suit has become dark, which is the battle suit in Captain America 2. Nanotechnology is used and titanium alloy is used. There is an inner lining inside, and the nano can fit the body, so it will not be uncomfortable. Link's battle suit is still his own, and he also carries weapons. The three of them arrived at the TV station building in his Rolls-Royce. As soon as they got off the car, they saw the media reporters and the masses gathered on both sides. Some supported and some opposed. The three of them walked directly into the TV station building without caring. Oprah received them, took the elevator all the way to the studio and sat on the floor, and then asked them to wait in the reception room. Chapter 100 Oprah Show 2. You are listening at NovelsNew. Link looked around to prevent any unexpected situations. After all, there are crazy people everywhere, so he didn't want to encounter any terrorist attacks. He used the X-ray vision to observe and confirm that it was safe before retracting his sight. Oprah, as the host, took the stage first, and the live broadcast started. She made an opening speech, and then solemnly invited the Avengers to come on stage. The music sounded, and Link and the other two stood up. Captain America was in front, Black Widow was in the middle, and Link was at the end, entering the studio one by one. The audience was very enthusiastic, and the shouting almost lifted the ceiling, until Steve pressed his hand. After all, he had seen many such scenes, with larger venues and more people. Welcome, three of you. I see that your costumes are different. Is this your battle suit? Oprah stood beside them and asked. Steve said, yes, they are all newly designed battle suits, using new technology. What technology? Oprah asked. Steve turned to look at Link. Lin, show me. Link nodded at his helmet, and then retreated like a tide. Wow. Not only Oprah, but all the audience exclaimed, and Link said, nanotechnology, I believe everyone has seen it in science fiction movies, but it is not science fiction. At present, it will not be used in business, but simply used in the Avengers. It's amazing technology. Please take a seat and start our conversation today. Oprah skillfully controlled the progress of the program. In fact, there is no time limit for the program today, because the ratings have exploded at this time, and more than 1 billion people around the world are watching. Tonight's advertisements have been sold out long ago, and the TV station has made money anyway, and the Avengers don't care about the money, so the TV station cooperates with them very well. After sitting down, Oprah asked, we have collected opinions from audiences around the world and sorted out some questions. Among them, the most concerned question is, do aliens exist? Steve was speechless, Black Widow smiled, and Link said directly, if everyone still doesn't believe it, then it can only be said that human psychology is too fragile. The facts are in front of us. Now those huge alien creatures are still lying in New York, and it is quite difficult to deal with them. The existence of aliens will not change because of the will of humans on Earth. They are there and will not disappear because of our thoughts. It's like they want to attack the Earth. They will not ask the Earth's opinion, but directly use force. This sounds terrible, but it is reality. Link stopped here and let everyone think and buffer. Although the atmosphere is a bit dull, everyone has long known it in their hearts, but they just don't want to admit it. This is a matter of covering one's ears and stealing the bell. Oprah was well prepared after all. She waited for a moment and immediately asked, why would the aliens attack the Earth? Did they suddenly come at this time, or were there early signs? Link said, I need to correct you. The aliens did not come suddenly. They have come many times. In the history of human development, there are many alien figures. In the Battle of New York, you should have seen a man wearing armor, a cloak, and holding a hammer. He can fly and control lightning. This image should be familiar to everyone. He is Thor, the god of thunder in Norse mythology, and his name is Thor. Oprah asked in surprise, so, Mr. Lin means that the gods in Norse mythology really exist? Yes. Link nodded. He is from Asgard, the son of god King Odin, a real prince. Of course, you can also regard them as aliens. A long time ago, there were frost giants who wanted to occupy the earth, and god King Odin led the army of Asgard to defeat them. That's how Norse mythology came about. They really came to the earth and protected the earth. In the universe, among advanced civilizations, the earth is protected by Asgard. What Link said just now was very dangerous, and now he said that the earth is protected, so the audience's mood is ups and downs. Oprah thought for a moment and asked again, so, are they real gods? According to some ways of thinking on Earth, they are indeed gods. After all, the average lifespan of Asgardians is 5,000 years, but they are not immortal. Link said, "It depends on how you understand it. And I believe everyone can see that although Asgard has included the Earth in its protection range, they do not really rule the Earth. You know, they actually rule several planets, and the Earth is not ruled by themselves." Steve said, "We are actually very confused about this, but Thor did not tell us the reason. It seems that he is not very clear about this. Only the god King Odin knows this." Oprah asked, "So, there should be some secrets in it?" Link nodded and said, "Indeed, there should be a secret. In fact, everyone can try to think about it with their own thinking. Why doesn't Odin rule the Earth? The 9 planets including Asgard and the Earth form a huge world tree in the universe, and the Earth is located in the center. This place is very special, but Odin does not rule here. The only explanation I can think of is that Asgard is not the only one protecting the Earth." Oprah was confused. "I'm a little confused. Is there still a defender of the Earth? We can't confirm this. After all, if there are, then they will be very ancient. How long did modern civilization develop?" Link spread his hands. "Actually, everyone is right, that is, governments around the world hide a lot of things. Because these things involve extraterrestrial civilizations, this is a fact that ordinary people cannot accept, and there is a global agency responsible for handling related matters. The establishment of the Avengers was spearheaded by this organization and invited us to join it. The reason for its establishment is also very simple, that is, once an alien civilization invades, even if we cannot stop it, we will cause heavy losses to the other party and make them pay a sufficient price." Oprah frowned and said, "It sounds very tragic. Since we have so much protection, why do we still do this?" Link said, "Neither Asgard nor the unknown guardians have communicated with governments, and they have not interfered with the development of mankind." Link said, "Our development has not received any guidance. For them, we are unknown.